bourbon on the front, it's tequila on the back. It's the mullet
like
of bourbon. Yeah. It's business in the front and party in the back.
Welcome once again to Chill Filter, the podcast where we drink whiskey so you don't have to. But you probably should. You probably are. And hey, we like you no matter what. Unless you're that one guy that gave us a 1-star review on Apple Podcasts. Hey, it happens. Those things happen. But we do meander, yes. And we do sometimes have inaccuracies. But don't listen from the start. There were a lot more inaccuracies at the beginning of the podcast and episodes 1 through 20 maybe. But I was still getting my bearings. And now I got
much more professional now. Much more.
Yeah. And we're 385 episodes in. I think I know what I'm talking about, even though I go off on tangents. That's okay. If that's not for you, I apologize. And, we forgive the guy that wrote that 1-star review. But
we never forget.
But we never forget. No, if you're going to, we're not going to hate on people that do that. It happens. But one thing to take into account is business this week. Now that I think about
leave a review on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, leave a review. Exactly. Hey, that's great transition, Brian. Yeah. Apple Podcasts. We haven't had a review in a few months. So if you've been listening, you haven't written us a review and you're hooked, maybe leave us a review. Tell us some things we could do better. Maybe even some things you like. Preferably things you like. But hey, maybe hit us up on Instagram with the things you like or that we could improve on. That being said, that's the business for this week. Welcome. We're drinking Booker's The Reserves 2025. It's a tequila finished bourbon. Probably our first on the podcast, to be honest.
Yeah, right.
Booker's has a really cool history, though, and I'm looking forward to the history segment today. But yeah, Brian, do you like Christmas music before Thanksgiving?
Honestly, I'm down. I do not seek it out and I do not choose to listen to it. But if I'm in a department store where, sorry to all the department store workers who are just probably already getting Christmas music blasted at them. But if I'm in a department store and they're playing Christmas music, I'm like, oh yeah, it is kind of Christmas time. I do enjoy it. So what about you?
I used to be like a hard, whatever the word is. I used to be like, no, not until Thanksgiving. This is not the time. But this year I'm like, you know what? I could use some Christmas spirit in my life. So I've been listening to Christmas music, even on my own. So I grew up on 90s country. And I don't prefer 90s country music to most of my music. But if I'm going to listen to country, I'm going to listen to 90s country. I can't stand. And sorry if you're big into country music, like modern country music. I can't stand it. Here's my thing. And I realized it recently. Today's country lacks vulnerability. Hear me out. If you're talking about your beer, your trucks, and your girls, let's get vulnerable. Even, what is his name? Toby Keith. We've talked about Toby Keith before on the podcast. He used to be vulnerable. And then right around the turn of the century, right around the end of the 1990s, he decided to become a bro countryman. And he probably, in my opinion, led the charge of bro country at the turn of the century. That's okay. Toby Keith, rest in peace. Pour one out for this homie.
Dang.
Pretend that landed on the floor. But you listen to older country and you're like, this isn't proud. It is proud. There are proud things, but it's vulnerable. And I love vulnerable country music. And I'm not a big country guy. Like I said, it's not my go-to genre, but I bring that all up to say I grew up on it. So I know a lot of the 90s country songs, but also my parents used to buy 90s country artists Christmas albums like Alan Jackson, George Strait, nice. Clint Black. And so it all kind of comes to that of last night I was listening to a mixture of 90s country music Christmas albums. So
nice.
It was good though.
Give me some. Well, first off, I didn't even know Toby Keith was dead.
He died a year ago. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never been country dude, even growing
Mhm.
up in Kansas.
Yeah,
It
wow.
just
Yeah.
never like resonated with me. But give me some
Mhm.
examples. Like what's good 90s country?
I don't know. Like on the female side, my top people are probably like Reba
Yeah,
McEntire, Mary Shapen Carpenter. Great
I know
stuff.
the
Great
name.
stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. She actually, funny story. When I worked at Starbucks in Charlottesville, Virginia, I served her latte once.
Wow.
Didn't know it until after the fact. They're like, you know who you just handed your latte to? A country music star, Mary Shapen Carpenter, who won female best female country performance 4 years in a row at the Grammys. 4 years in a row. Who does that?
Dang.
Who wins the
Yeah,
same
right.
Grammy 4 years in a row? Talk
That's
about
impressive.
things like Passionate Kisses and what else? I Feel Lucky, and yeah, He Thinks He'll Keep Her. Songs like that.
Nice. Nice.
Reba's great. She's always like real. What I love about her music is it's always like it hits the heartstrings. It's not always like vulnerable in a sad way or like a heartfelt way. Like she literally sings a song about like being a mistress in a relationship and being like, I think he loves me more than he loves you. Like that, but that's still in a way like vulnerable.
Right.
And I love it. So, and then
That's
on the
cool.
on the male side, there's like Alan Jackson, George Strait,
Hmm.
Garth Brooks. I mean, come
Oh
on.
yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, talk about anything by Garth Brooks is like super vulnerable. And I love it.
Yeah.
Love it all. Love it all.
As far as Christmas music goes for me, I'm a
Mhm.
very like traditional,
Mhm. Yeah.
in a movie set in like the 70s, whatever Christmas
Mhm.
music they're playing there, like usually like
Yeah.
like crooning,
Yeah. Yeah.
or like a kind of like a choir singing stuff. Like I definitely love the like grandpa Christmas music.
I mean, that's why they keep playing it over year after years because those are the hits. It's
Yeah.
rare I'll hear a newer Christmas song that I like. Like there's a few over the past few years in the Christmas stations where you'll hear one and you're like, this is new, but I like it. Like there's one with I don't even know the song name. I don't even know how it goes, but I remember it was Ed Sheeran and Elton John. And I was like,
Oh
I kind
wow.
of like this. And it was like newer and it was hitting the radios. And Kelly Clarkson has one recently over the past 10 years where I was like,
Oh
okay, I
yeah.
can dig that one. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Under the
See,
Tree or something like that.
I never
Underneath the
even
Tree.
like radio stations and stuff. Like I don't tune in on my own. I think literally the only time I hear Christmas music is when I go to a department store or whatever,
Mhm.
or I'm at home actually doing like a hardcore Christmas activity, like putting the
Nice.
tree up or something. Like
Yeah.
I will play Christmas music and of course on Christmas
Yeah.
Day, but outside of that, like if it's just a normal day, nah, I never put
Mhm.
Christmas music on.
It's been more and more lately, and sometimes in my family, like my, immediate wife and children, like we'll just be like, "All right, time for Christmas music," and we'll just put on a station on YouTube Music, um, and just like it'll play like the standard what you'd hear on the radio station. But I don't really listen to radio at all. So yeah, but yeah,
Tell
I
me,
love it. I love the season. It's like my favorite season of the year. Besides, like
yeah,
favorite time of year. Like my favorite season is fall, as it is
yeah.
hoodie season. But yeah, my favorite time of the year is definitely the Christmas time. I love it. Good spirit, good gifts, good travel, seeing family, eating good food. It's a good time. Are you doing anything for Christmas this year?
No, I think if anything, we'll just be between Phoenix and Tucson.
Nice.
But yeah, no, we're not planning on taking him any on a plane ride
Yeah.
like to go back to Kansas or anything. Not planning on doing anything like that.
Nice.
But yeah, and I'm sure I've said this before, but yeah, I'm a huge fall guy, and like like I've always loved like the idea of like colonial America, like a headless horseman,
Nice.
pumpkin changing leaves in the New England area. Like that's like, I think if there was like a dream world I could live in, it would be like something that's very heavily themed in that regard.
That'd be cool. What if you could how there's snowbirds? I mean, we're very familiar as me being a prior Phoenician and you being one now. You know how people can live in, like Colorado during the summer and then they live in, Phoenix for the winter or something like that. What if you were so loaded that you had 4 season houses and you lived in, every season you lived in a different place? I can assure you I would be living in Phoenix for the winter. And like honestly, probably some of the fall and spring.
Yeah.
Um I don't know if I would love it as much in the summer, that's for sure. But if I were in the summer, it would actually be Colorado. Colorado has killer summers. Like it's dry and it's like high of 85. It's just amazing out there for the summer. But now the
Yeah.
question is spring and fall, where would you live?
Oh, man.
Certainly wouldn't be
Uh,
Virginia.
It's a good,
Or yeah.
what it might come down to is how much it rains in certain
Mm,
places. Because like I want to avoid the rain. I mean, I do like
yeah.
some rain,
Mhm.
but if I would just make sure, because everything's pretty temperate in spring and fall. So I don't know, I think it'd
Yeah.
come down to rain. Yeah.
I figure fall would be definitely East Coast with a lot of leaves and a lot of change in the leaves. I mean, I grew up in Philly. I could live back there for the fall. That was a good spot. But
Yeah.
then the spring, where would I spring at? Maybe like
Somewhere.
Boise. Loved Boise.
That's what I was gonna
Good place.
say.
Yeah.
Somewhere a little cool, but you'll get a
Yeah.
lot of like grass and flowers and everything
Yeah.
because it's
The city of
springtime.
trees. Yeah. That's what they
Yeah.
called it. Believe it or not. You ever been to
Oh,
Boise?
really? No, definitely
Yeah.
not.
It is not the city of trees, I'll tell you that. It's
That's hilarious.
like I don't know. I mean, here has a million more trees than
Yeah.
Boise, Idaho, but they call it the city of trees. I mean, that's apparently the French like poisse or something like that means like something about trees.
Huh.
Um, yeah,
Interesting.
now
That's
you know.
cool. Yeah.
Speaking of which, we were toying with the idea of a 2026 meetup, and we gotta like plan ahead for our Scotland trip, and that might not be 2026, but if we plan now, it could be 2027. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But we were like, hey, if we wanted to do a not an international, a domestic trip this year again for our meetup, I feel like
Mhm.
New Orleans would be cool. You ever been to New
Right.
Orleans?
So I have, yeah. I
Nice,
went to a buddy's wedding in New Orleans. I think it was around
nice.
2015, maybe. Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's been a
I
bit.
have been many a time to New Orleans. Actually, shout out to Bryce Marita. He knows that. We
Oh,
met in
yeah.
the Big Easy.
That's right.
So the first time I ever went to New Orleans was in 20 or 2007, I want to say, summer 2007. I was doing a Katrina relief project kind of thing. And I did it again in 2008. So that was my second time. And then I went another time that summer for just another basically what do you call it, a service project kind of thing. And then I hadn't gone for a little bit, and then I took my wife there on our first anniversary, and that was kind of fun. We enjoyed that. And then so I guess that
Nice.
was only 3 or 4 times, but really cool town.
So
And
did you do much on Bourbon Street or no?
not too much. Yeah, I mean, we went to one bar and got a hurricane. That was about it. But you can open carry, not open carry. What's the word? Open container there.
Yeah.
And so you could just like grab a drink from one bar and walk around Bourbon Street. And the French Quarter is awesome. Like in terms of like Bourbon Street, that's one thing. But I've been to the French Quarter plenty of times, and that's kind of where it's at. And really cool stuff. Get some beignets and stuff. But what I was thinking is that we should reach out to JT Mellick and maybe do a barrel pick with them. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm a big fan of that rice whiskey. So yeah.
I was just looking. I'm not sure we hardly left the French Quarter at all the entire
Oh
time we
wow.
were there. Like
Uh
we
huh.
stayed right there. We were on Bourbon Street for
Mm-hmm.
the 2 or 3 nights basically, and not the hotel, but basically we were out there doing that
Nice.
stuff for
Heck
a couple
yeah.
days. And then
Nice.
their wedding was at a cool venue right around there. So
Nice.
yeah, I haven't even seen New Orleans outside the French Quarter like at all.
It's not a
But if I
terrible
remember
thing.
correctly, yeah.
I mean,
Well,
French
and I
Quarter is
will
where it's
say
at. Hmm.
Bourbon Street was like gross. Like it
Yeah.
smelled like Smelled like pee
Yeah.
everywhere on Bourbon
Yeah. It's
Street.
kind of like what's that street in Vegas? Fremont or something like that, where it's just like
Oh,
a lot of
yeah.
homeless,
Yeah, yeah.
not really attractive. Yeah.
So, do you know how far away JT Mellick is from
I want to
New
say
Orleans?
hour and a half. Ranch to New Orleans.
Looks closer to 3, actually.
Whoa. Okay, maybe not. How far from Baton Rouge? Because Baton Rouge is cool too, I guess.
Baton Rouge.
I mean,
That's
3
funny.
hours
I
isn't
just like
a deal breaker.
clicked to like put it in. I clicked on some random thing
Mm,
on New Orleans just to like do it really quick, and
yeah.
the pin landed on Cafe du Monde.
Oh yeah. One of the best beignets you can get in town. That's cool.
How far from Baton Rouge? Hour and a half, basically. Yeah,
Okay. Ranch, man.
hour
Oh, it
15.
is way out of the way. It's closer to Lafayette,
Hmm.
but it's like right off 10. I should have gone there. I don't know if we knew about um GT. We
Oh
probably did
yeah, yeah. By
before I
then, yeah,
visited
totally.
San Antonio, but I didn't realize it was so close to Route 10.
Yeah,
Yeah. Should have gone. Shoulda,
yeah.
coulda, woulda.
Tell me what you're entry buzzing on.
I have Booker's, and I didn't even read the label yet. I just picked a random Booker's off my shelf. This one is the Lumberyard batch. That's a 2022-02. 7 years, 7 day. What? 7 years,
Oh
1 month, 7
yeah,
day. 124.8.
I had that
Signed by
one.
Booker. No,
It was a good one.
even though it wasn't.
So yeah, I was gonna say, is it actually signed by Booker now, or is it like the Booker's label normally?
Be by his cold dead hands.
Oh yeah, right. I have one bottle of Booker's.
Uh-huh.
It's an old Kentucky tea batch one, and it's
Nice.
not opened because that was an early realization of mine of like I can't keep buying every single one of these.
Uh-huh.
So I drank my way through what I had, and then I
Mhm.
have this one left not open. I was like, I'm just gonna save this, for some future rainy day or whatever. I
Nice.
don't need an open Booker's when like I've got reserve stuff and I've got other beam
Yeah.
stuff. So anyway, I didn't want to open it for this.
Although, but Booker's is kind
Uh,
of up your alley.
It is. I do
Yeah.
very much like Bookers, which is why I know someday I'm just going to be like, yeah, I need some Bookers, and I'll be happy to rip that open.
Yeah.
But
What year was that one? Do you know? The tea
no,
one?
I'd have to Google it.
It's
But
all good.
anyway, I'm drinking Reserves 2024 right now. Um,
Nice.
Obviously 2025 is tequila finished. I imagine it is quite different than this.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I guess I'm not exactly expecting this to be too similar. So, but that's
Yeah.
the experiment. I guess that's what we'll see. I don't know.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
and
Uh-huh.
we just emailed out Secret Sampla form.
Yes, we did. I'm excited about that.
I know,
I've
me
been
too.
already prepping what I'm gonna send people.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm sure you're all very familiar with our Secret Santa sample giving
Hmm.
train, which we lovingly call Secret Sampla. And this year we are extending it to non-patrons as well.
Yep.
If you have friends that you know of that it would be fun to invite them into, feel free to copy the link, send it to whoever
Yeah.
you'd like. We are not
And
sending
yeah.
that link too widely ourselves. We're
Yeah.
not making it too public,
Yeah.
just because I don't necessarily want just anybody to join, but
Yeah.
friends of friends, absolutely, please.
And you listener who've been listening to at least 4 episodes and are hooked, yeah, just reach out. Reach out and we'll get you the link. But don't
For sure.
tell all your friends if you haven't listened to 4 episodes and you're hooked. No, I'm kidding. I mean, like,
Yeah,
we won't turn you down if you reach out just through word of ear or word of mouth on the podcast or whatever.
for sure, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can only send it to as many friends as episodes that you've listened to.
Yes, that's true.
So
If you've
be
listened to
honest.
385 episodes, maybe that's different. So
Yeah, it'll
I want
take
to
me
say
a long
like
time to match all those people up.
what's his name? Like Marco in CO. He's not a Patreon member, but he is very welcome to apply. So
Yeah,
stuff like
somehow he's very beautiful anyway. It's crazy.
yeah, who knew?
Yeah. Yeah.
He could still be beautiful, but he would be even more beautiful He was a Patreon subscriber. So,
Somehow,
um,
somehow, Patreon would find a way.
yeah, it always does. There's always more beauty to be had. Um, Anything else, Brian, before we go into the break in history segment?
I guess if I had one Emma update, I would say that
Yeah, bring
she's
it
in
on.
an adorable phase right now where she will say hi to everyone. It's
Oh,
the best. And like I
who
have
wouldn't?
I
Yeah.
have geared her up for this. Like for
Hmm.
months I've been saying hi and waving my
Uh,
hand like all the time, and it's
that's great.
definitely sunk in now. And she will say hi, like we'll go on a walk and like
Hmm.
cars will drive by and she's like
Oh,
hi.
that's so sweet.
But
You
the
know,
best is
uh,
she never misses an animal. If there's a dog or another kid
nice.
or a
Uh-huh.
cat, like she
Hey, they're
gets
all animals.
really excited and she never misses
No.
one of those.
Do you think Emma's gonna be a shy girl?
I am going to do everything I can to try to make sure that doesn't happen.
I know. Shy kids, like, they get old sometimes. I'm just gonna put it out there. Like, it's like, sorry, I said hi to you because you're hiding behind your daddy, or like stuff like that. It's like, but like Beck and Gray, like especially Beck, she's just not shy at all. Like she will
Right.
show you her dance moves. She will show you everything. Like she'll be like, and she's not like, gonna warm up to some stranger at the park, you know what I mean? But like
Right.
she is not afraid to, at least say hi and like um but yeah, she's she has her favorite people at my church, and she'll like, one of them is a friend of mine named Tony, and she's like, Mr. Tony, and like just makes a fun thing out of saying hi to him.
Yeah.
And but it's like I have one of my best friends, and he doesn't listen, but um, he's got twin girls, and they're really shy, and it's
Mhm.
like I see them all the time, and yet I show up and they are terrified of me. It seems that they are terrified of me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, guys, you know me. I am
Yeah.
always nice to you. I'm always kind and say nice things. And yet I feel like I'm a burden to you. And it's not that big a
Right.
deal. They're kids, it's like whatever. But I'm just
Yeah.
like, I love outgoing kids. They're great.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah. Like when I drop her off at daycare, like I go in the door and I am
Hmm.
immediately like, hi, and like
Uh-huh.
trying to get her to like wave to all
Ah,
the kids. And if she's
yeah,
not waving, I'll like grab her arm and I'll like flick her arms to be like, and I'm like, hi. I'm like waving with Emma to like when
that's
you enter the
great.
room and see all your friends, you say hi. So,
Yeah, that's what you do.
and like,
It's
you know,
yeah.
I I want to have her, order her food when she's at a restaurant,
Ooh, yeah.
hopefully most of the time.
Mhm.
And obviously, I'm sure there's a lot of complications with
Yeah.
that, and who knows? I'm still very new to this, but
Mhm.
I do have grand aspirations to try to make sure that she is not afraid to interact with other people.
We got these, like, semi post-COVID children, um, to where, like, some kids were born in, like, 2018, and yet some of their more formative social years were during COVID. And we
Yeah,
had kids after the real craziness of COVID. And so there's probably going to be this weird dip in, there already is, but like even when they're adults, it's like this weird dip in like social experience where it's like, all right, you don't know how to make friends. You don't know how to like be kind to strangers or, say hi to people or be social.
right.
And then there's
Yeah,
like the people that were like us, where we're like, we want our kids to be really social because one, we have the opportunity by the time they're in those formative years, but also like, we don't want our kids to be like the ones that did get really messed up from COVID. And that happens. Like, I'm not saying like they're messed up for no good reason. Like, it's
yeah.
understandable that some of these kids have lacked social skills because they had to lack social skills. So,
Right.
anyway,
I'm sure some got hit more than others, but
yeah.
like I could like strongly say that I'm sure there's a correlation to lack
Mhm.
of social skills and COVID. Like you can't deny
Oh,
that.
100%. I
So,
mean, you asked
and
Robbie,
like,
he
oh
he
yeah.
works in special education. And he's like, yeah, it's noticeable. It's like
Yeah.
very noticeable.
Right. And it's like for somebody who is pretty social and then to
Yeah.
have gone through COVID and like I didn't get to be as social as I wanted during COVID. So
Mhm.
now it's like I never want anything like this to happen to Emma.
Oh my goodness. And it's
Yeah.
I feel blessed. It's definitely not a unprofitable skill to have. You can, it is a truly unprofitable skill to have when you don't have social skills.
Yeah.
You're limited. And when you have the social skills, you are not as limited as the other. Like you can choose to be, kept to yourself, but at least you have the
True.
option. So
Yeah, true.
anyway, we got some good history coming up. And I hope you guys will
Nice. I'm
join us
excited.
on the other side of this quick break. This week's Patreon shout out goes to a man who proves that kindness and good whiskey go hand in hand. The name Patrick Smith. Patrick hails from South Carolina, but he now calls sunny Phoenix home, where he engineers solutions by day and enjoys a fine pour by night. He's the kind of guy who will offer you a ride to the airport without hesitation. In fact, legend has it that he once chauffeured our buddy Chris Riesbeck during the Phoenix Chill Filtered meetup. No questions asked, just pure hospitality. So here's to you, Patrick, the dependable whiskey loving engineer with a heart as warm as Arizona sun and smoother than a pour of Colonel Taylor. Cheers, my friend. All right, we're back. Hey, Bryan. Before we get into it, I have some notes to get to, but can you take it off in terms of Christmas gifts this year? How
Uh,
does it work? We love. Well, let me intro it. For those who don't know, we love gifts. We love giving gifts. We love receiving gifts, and this is no different this year. It is a chill filter tradition that we do gifts for our Christmas episode. Um, if you want to be a part of that, you can be a part of getting gifts too. At least your probability is higher if you do that. So take it away, Bryan. How does it work this year?
Yeah, so regardless of how many gifts we receive, Cole and I both dole out the coveted Gifties Choice Award, and
Yeah,
the Gifties Choice receives some choice bottles of Cole's and mine. Cole is a Found North single barrel selected, or Songle barrel selected by the
that's
Chill
right.
Filtered podcast, and mine will be the Michter's Barrel Strength Rye 2025. And then if we receive 4 gifts, 6 gifts, 8 gifts, 10 gifts, more bottles begin to be activated that will roll
Yep.
a big spinner wheel for to
Yep.
determine who randomly receives bottles for the remaining participants. So feel free to send in anything, not even whiskey related,
Doesn't even
totally
need to be
fine.
whiskey.
Feel free to send in a half drinketed bottle of something
Yeah.
that you just don't even want anymore. That's totally
Yeah.
fine.
Totally
Yeah,
doable.
we've seen it all. We've had it all on the show.
Yeah.
Always appreciate anything that anyone wants to send in. So Merry
Yeah.
Christmas and thank you in advance.
Yeah. And if you guys need addresses, you can either reach out to us on Instagram or chillfilteredpodcast@gmail.com. Or if you want it to be a surprise, reach out to R Deadlow on Instagram. That's right. Robbie Deadlow. He'll give you our addresses. All right. Let's talk about this week. We are drinking Booker's The Reserve, specifically the 2025 release. This is not our first Booker's Reserves, Booker's or Jim Beam product on the podcast. I thought about doing history of Booker No, but then I realized I did that on the last Booker's The Reserves episode. That was episode 332, just about a year ago. But I thought of some cool history that really makes Booker's special. So we'll get into that now. I'm not even going to give it a title, just going to go through it. All right. Before the late 1980s, bourbon was largely a tamed spirit. The typical shelf bottle was between 80 and 90 proof. Easy to drink, easy to market, and for the most part, consistent. And after the bourbon glut of the 70s and early 80s, distilleries were focused on survival, not really experimentation. And high proof whiskey existed, but it was almost always a private, behind the scenes experience, and the kind of thing that only distillers or warehouse workers got to enjoy straight from the barrel. And that all changed with one man The name Booker No. Booker was a 6th-generation Beam distiller and grandson of Jim Beam himself. He believed that the most honest bourbon came straight from the cask, uncut and unfiltered, exactly how he tasted it in the Rick House. And he'd been bottling certain Booker's bottles privately for family and friends for years. But in 1988, Jim Beam, the distillery, decided to make it official. That release became Booker's Bourbon, and the first widely available barrel strength bourbon in the modern market. Did you know that? It was like basically the first. You did? Okay, cool.
Was I muted?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were.
Okay.
It's all good.
I did know that. And also, I'm hoping that you say earlier what year he started doing this. Did you say that already?
88. Yep.
88. If you were like, I wondered if I was like, I wonder if he's going to toss to me like, Bryan, what year do you think he started doing this?
No.
I was
What
like,
would you
I'm going to
guess?
say, I think I was early 90s. I was like 94, maybe probably would have been my guess. I would
here's the next
guess 80s.
Here's the next question for you. When did other companies start following suit? For example, Rare Breed. When did Rare Breed start?
Honestly, I would guess early 2000s, maybe like a full 10 years later is what I would think.
Well, you are in for a surprise because I'll get to that in a moment.
Nice.
But Booker's proof regularly ranged from mid 120s to a little over 130, which was unheard of at the time. Even in like the early 90s and stuff. It didn't just defy convention. It redefined what premium meant in bourbon. It was during that period when, like vodka and light spirits ruled the American market. So something like a fiery barrel proof bourbon was kind of a bold gamble. But it was worth it, and it worked. People loved the intensity, the texture, the idea that they were tasting something, exactly as it came out of the barrel, let alone inconsistency, which is really cool when you get to barrel proof products. Is like, yeah, consistency is cool, but I want something that's a little bit different every time. Booker's success sparked a quiet revolution. By the early 1990s, distilleries realized that there was a growing audience for uncut whiskey. Enthusiasts who wanted to experience the depth that dilution hid. In 1991, Wild Turkey came out with Rare Breed bourbon.
That's
their
fair.
their first, and it was only a few years later, which is great. But then, here's a question. Do you know how long it took Elijah Craig to go barrel proof?
Well, now I don't know which way this is going to go, because genuinely, I knew that he was a pioneer, and I thought that he was such a pioneer that he was like decades ahead of everyone else.
Oh yeah.
But I guess based on context clues, I would say early 2000s on Elijah Craig.
No, they started in 2013.
Oh my
believe
god.
That. Like, I didn't know I thought it was at least the mid 2000s. But yeah, 2013 was when Elijah Craig brought up its first barrel proof. Buffalo Trace launched George T. Stagg in the early 2000s, which pushed proof limits even further, sometimes nearly hitting, of course, as we know, above 140 hazmat. The rise of barrel strength bourbon wasn't just about proof. Like I said, it was about transparency, inconsistency, and flavor integrity. By leaving whiskey uncut, distillers invited drinkers to experience the spirit's full story: the influence of the barrel char, the concentration of sugars, the interplay of heat and humidity in the warehouse, all things that we can get, but avoiding things like consistency, which I dig. No two batches were ever identical, and that uniqueness became part of the appeal and why you should get every, batch, especially at that time. So when Booker's The Reserves, what we're drinking today, came along this year in 2025, it was more than just a special release. It was, a continuation of that same philosophy that Booker No had almost 40 years ago. 37 years ago, basically.
Yeah, wow.
Crazy.
Booker's is older than you are, Cole.
I know, right? Booker's is older than me. That's crazy, which is cool. But yeah. Today, Booker's The Reserves 2025. It is an 8-year, 10-month, 11-day aged bourbon, which is crazy for a barrel proof. Maybe that was just the youngest. I was thinking for some reason that they were all this same day. All the barrels were all this, but that wouldn't make sense.
Correct.
But that was
That
the
wouldn't make sense.
yeah. But why would
Yeah,
they
yeah.
give the day? I don't know. But anyways,
I think
James, a
it's just something
BB.
they've always done, man. I
Yeah,
think they
it's
just
true.
like stick with it. Yeah, it's like their little
Woo!
special
My
thing that
goodness, I
they do.
almost dropped this. Yeah, it's on all. Does this have a wax seal or wax top on it?
It does have a brown waxy.
Nice. Nice. They always do that, which is cool. Aged in new charred oak, but finished for 11 weeks in tequila barrels. These tequila barrels, were first bourbon barrels, new charred oak, but then bourbon was aged in them. Specifically, do you know what bourbon was originally aged in the barrels they used for finishing?
I'll guess, but first,
Mhm.
for audio listeners who didn't see
Yeah,
me holding that up in
I
front of the
didn't
camera,
either.
what they got was you saying tequila barrels. Ooh, like it sounded so
Ooh.
funny. Okay, so I'm
Oh,
gonna
that's
guess
funny because I looked
that it
up.
was that. Yeah, yeah, because you saw me holding the bottle, and
Uh-huh.
that's why you said ooh, but it sounded like you were like tequila barrels. Ooh.
Uh-huh. Ooh, I love tequila. Yeah.
Anyway, what did the barrels originally have in them? I'm gonna guess that it's a Jim Beam product. Dude,
It
I'm gonna
is.
guess that it's just other bookers, previous bookers.
You were really close because it truly was other Bookers, but it was specifically the 30th anniversary barrels
Oh, that's
of
neat.
Bookers, which I've had. They were not that great.
Yeah.
But Booker's Rye, now you're
I was
talking.
wondering if you were
Um,
gonna talk about that.
yeah. But yes, and then it was aged after Booker's 30th anniversary bourbon barrels. It was aged in tequila barrels in Mexico, specifically El Tesoro tequila, which is a Suntory Beam product, which makes sense.
Mhm.
They were just sending them around. Beam Suntory, and they were using it for their 85th anniversary release, and then it came back to Beam, and that's what they
I think
used to age this one.
I think Brian Duncan has an El Tesoro 85th,
Oh,
actually.
nice. That's cool. Now we
Yeah.
know. Yeah, he should also
We'll have to
get
ask.
the 30th anniversary if he doesn't already have it, and then he'll have the full
Yeah.
story.
I know, right?
Yeah, who knows
Yeah.
where the barrels are going next? Could go to like
True.
I don't know. Like it'll go to Japan and they'll age Japanese Beam or I'm sorry, Suntory whiskey there.
Right, right.
Anyway, mash bill 77 corn, 11, or 13% rye, 10 malty bees. Hey, that's Beam. Um, Proof is 123.3. Total wine price if you find a retail, it's about 130.
Somehow, I guess I've kind of explained this before. Okay, hold on. There are multi levels to this. Let me step my way
Ooh.
back. I'll start with the bottom line up front. This was $105 at my Total Wine.
Oh wow.
And like that's what their normal Booker's price is for when they're not
Uh-huh.
price matching Costco on Booker's
Yeah.
is 105.
Oh
And
wow.
but the other thing I was going to say was, a lot of times if you catch something at Total Wine in Phoenix on the day that it came out, it's usually priced the same as it was the last year. That doesn't apply
Nice.
here because last year's Booker's Reserves was definitely like 140 or whatever.
Uh-huh.
So I like this must have been 105 because somebody in whoever did the pricing was like, let me just search for Booker's real quick. Okay,
Yeah.
Booker's is 105. So I only paid 105 plus tax for this.
I hate to make a blanket statement about total wine workers, but they know nothing about spirits. Like it's just
You
mind
know,
blowing. Like
yeah,
it's but I would work there too if um I don't
yeah.
even know why I'd work there.
You know, I can vouch for one or two that I know that are a little more enthusiastic about it, but
Mm,
I can only vouch for one or two.
yeah.
And I've talked to many a Total Wine worker. I've received many a Chestnut Farm
Chestnut
recommendation,
Farms, baby.
but yeah,
They're
maybe
like,
just
you
one or
like
two.
bourbon? I think you'll like Chestnut Farm. Hey, it's a Spirits Direct product. You're like,
It's
uh-huh.
They're like, it's highly allocated. Yeah, it's highly allocated because it's exclusively
Only
for
sold
Total
here.
Wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
Um,
love it.
I'm getting just off the nose a very dusty note. Almost as if this were aged, or like kept in a bottle for a while. It's kind of like standard dusty note. The first thing I'm getting on the nose.
You know, I see what you mean. But like knowing what I'm holding up to my nose right now and knowing that it is tequila finished, that dustiness to me, it's more herbal actually. It's more of a tingly herbal spice that totally leans agave. We are gonna have to pull this on the reentry buzz in order to truly figure out if this is noticeably
I will
agave
know
on the nose.
exactly what that bottle is if I drink this on the reentry buzz. Like,
Oh yeah,
no doubt.
post sip, you know for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah,
This
it's
tastes
a.
more like tequila than bourbon. After 11 weeks in a barrel, it tastes more like tequila.
Oh, I'm
Like
sorry. Did
even
you
like
say 11 weeks?
I'm sorry, 11 weeks. 11 weeks. No more than 11 weeks.
Yeah, you did
And
say that. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, this is a tequila right here. And like a decent one. It's a little hot. But I've had better tequilas. But yeah, that's pure tequila
Ooh,
right there.
ooh. There is a fresh black pepper note that I really dislike on this. Yeah, and the finish, the lingering is
Mhm.
mentholy agave stuff. I won't go as far as to say that it tastes more like a tequila than a bourbon.
Dude, I mean it.
I think I think it still holds the buttery. It keeps the bourbony viscosity. And like I've had some extra añejos that are this
Mhm.
color brown. And this those have a thinner mouthfeel for me.
That's true.
Uh, so I'm leaning a little more bourbon on this still, but there's just unmistakable
Yeah.
herbal agave. What's the? I guess it's what I'm thinking of is like aloe. Like
Yeah.
aloe is agave, right? So I don't know if it's synonymous to. You could say
I don't
either.
know.
I'm not sure, but
I don't
there's
know.
very much like an aloe vera agave thing going on this. It absolutely unmistakable.
You know, I still stand by it. I think this tastes like more like a tequila than a bourbon, but you are right. Usually tequila is a lot more buttery smooth, especially up front, like delicate at the beginning. This is not as delicate up front in the palate. But I mean, honestly, everything about the end, everything from like 4 to 10 on the palate is tequila to me.
I will draw that line with you for sure. It's bourbon on the front, it's tequila on the
Mm,
back. It's the
sounds like
mullet
a
of
t-shirt.
bourbon. Yeah,
Mm,
it's business in the front and party in the back.
mhm.
Um, Another thing I'm putting two and two together on, as far as like sentiment goes on this, is I I don't think tequilas get as high proof like this normally. Or I
I don't
guess what
think
I
they
mean
want them
is,
to.
yeah, tequilas aren't typically released as high a proof as this is, because
Yeah.
this is 125.9. And
Wait,
I
I
mean,
thought
I
it was
feel like
123.3. Am I wrong?
oh, I looked at the wrong bottle. Thanks.
Okay,
I
yeah.
looked at 2024. Yeah, 123.3 for sure. It I think the proof is what's really convincing me how I think that this is more bourbon than tequila. So I do have my water pour already. I just a couple drops of water in here. I'll give it a go, but I plan on watering this down a bunch and seeing if it turns into tequila.
Yeah. That's a good point. I just dropped a few drops myself.
I don't think the nose is any
Um,
different.
yeah, nose is about
Uh,
the same.
if anything, maybe it's a little less bourbony. Um, if anything, it's a little thinner, a little more tequila like on on the nose.
I think this is I think that like 0 to 10 scale shows a little longer on bourbon, like a 5 now as opposed to a 4 where it switches to a tequila. Um it does have oaky qualities that a bourbon only could have
Yeah.
up front. And the finish remains a little bit still oaky with a few drops of water. Um I would actually say this is a little less like a tequila than the neat pour. Easily. I think this is a little more bourbony.
Yeah, I agree. I think I get less of the pepper, less of the agave with water, and then I just double down on the water now. Even more water for my double water sip. I'm not sure it's headed in a direction I like. I think it's losing. So I'm not getting as much agave and herbal, yes, but it's losing all of its bourbon
Yeah.
weight now. It's not nearly as heavy as I want it to be on the bourbon side of things anymore. So it's just getting like a weak, muddled, unsure what it is kind of pour with more water. Did you do ice? Are you icing?
I am nosing the ice right now. Same kind of feel. I'm still getting like kind of a dusty nose. I guess herbal to some extent, but it's almost like knowing what I know. It's herbal, but I don't know. It's nothing sticking out too much. It's not too oaky or anything.
Got my ice jiggling around in here now. It's
It's weird.
Yeah. It's all herbal and a little bit of candy sweet actually on the nose. The ice really brightened it up a lot.
On the palate, the ice gives it a bite. At least what I consider a bite. It's kind of like not sweet. Suddenly, alcohol takes over a little bit.
That the peppery that I dislike really comes out on ice actually.
It's drinkable.
Yeah.
But I don't like it. It's going to be hard to give this a rating as it is a tequila.
Is it though? Is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, actually, the ice pour really turns this into a tequila, actually, in my opinion.
I can see that a little.
The nose drops away completely after the ice has been in there for a while. I'm not getting anything.
I'm surprised it only took 11 weeks to put this much tequila on this bourbon.
I'm surprised they thought this was a good idea.
Mexico? What's that?
I'm surprised they thought this was a good idea.
My assumption here is that they didn't know how else to market it. And they were like, all right, we gotta pull them out of the barrels, that's for sure, because it is way too tequila.
Get
and
this
then they're
out
like,
of
what do we
here,
put it under? Do we give it a new label, or do we just put it under Booker's The Reserves for 2025? And they're like, do it. What was special about last year's? It was like a few ages or something, right?
It doesn't say on the bottle, and I don't have my fact sheet anymore, so I don't know. But last year's is not finished. And it is a blend of straight bourbon whiskeys. So I don't know. Maybe there's some exceptional age in there. I do believe 2024 was exceptional. I think 2024 is the best Booker's. Any bottle with the name Booker's that's not,
you haven't had Booker's Rye, baby,
super special release. Any like this blows every normal Booker's out of the water, and by this I mean last year's Booker's Reserves, to be very clear. I like what you said though. It's almost like they realized, hey, we don't have a science experiment line. Where do we fit in a weird experimental line? It's like, I don't know, let's make a special side branch of Booker's and call it the Reserves. We got to start off with a banger though, but then we can start doing weird stuff after that.
Yeah. So last year's, typically Booker's is between 6 and 8 years old. Last year's Booker's The Reserves was between 8 and 14 years old. So that's the difference there. But you also haven't had Booker's Rye, which was phenomenal.
I will someday. That's like I have to make sure that I get a sample of that before I die. That's on the list.
What is that running? Like $3,000?
No, actually only $2,000.
Okay. Maybe that's a future Christmas gift by one of our listeners.
Yeah,
certainly not by me. Yeah. But which one? That would certainly get a gifty's choice.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. You don't know what else other people
maybe
could
they
send.
have something even better. Yeah. That's the problem. You got to compete. You got to show up. That's funny. But yeah.
Oh man, I am thinking about rating now.
Okay. I got a rating scale.
I can't. Okay, I got to rate it off the best pour, which might have been water,
Nice.
but like I can't get over the lingering fresh cracked pepper agave. It's just it comes through too much. Those flavor notes dominate the finish of every pour, neat water and ice. And it's something that I actually dislike. So I'm starting off down in the C minus territory.
Nice.
Something's off. Something about this makes me think it's not so great. But I'm not sure I can go as far as to say that it clearly stands out as being bad. Like
Yeah.
like there are off-putting attributes, but it's just like not a direction that I like to go in. So
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go C minus. And
Nice.
I'll be honest, there might be, because C minus and D plus, they're right there in this category.
Yeah.
There might be some sentimentality at play here because I do really love Booker's.
Nice.
I do really love the weight of the palate, and I love that there's some heavy peanut viscosity stuff going on. That only exists on the front end of the sip, though, and then it turns into something that I'm like, maybe this just isn't for me. So I'm gonna go C minus. Something's off.
I can dig it. Before you gave your score, I agreed with you on the C minus. Here's my reasoning. This is a mediocre bourbon at best, and this is a lame tequila at best. If I wanted tequila, like a nice, extra añejo tequila, this is not what I would grab. But if I wanted a decent bourbon that was like, actually like really good stuff, this is not what I would grab. So I do agree there's something off, but I do lean on the higher side. I don't think it's trash. It's just okay. I'm going to give it a 7.9 on my numerical scale. But yeah, it's C minus for the alpha scale. So yeah, that's what I got. All right.
Makes me wonder what's coming next year,
Yeah.
Like, will they continue the crazy, or will they dial it back? I have heard some fairly positive reviews about this, and
nice.
I this channel, we're leaning less than positive, I think.
Yes. Right.
But so I don't know. I guess it'll be really fun to tell. Maybe they'll take some. Maybe next year, instead of tequila, it'll be Japanese whiskey aged barrels or something.
I can't wait. Yeah, throw some Yam 18 barrels into that.
Yeah, I'm always down for weird stuff. Yeah.
And I was about to say, good on them for trying new things. We're into that. That being said, we will both win the reentry buzz when we pull this one. Like we'll tie. Yeah, because
I hope
this is so unique that it's unmistakable that how much tequila is showing up on this. So all right, now that we've given our scores and talked about them a little bit, let's move on over to our next segment of the show that we like to call Whiskey World News.
All right, everybody, welcome back. This is Whiskey World News, and today we are reading a web page from Buffalo Trace where they invite you cordially to the most remote tasting room in America. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not sure how old news this is, but
like a week.
Oh yeah, okay, good. Because I'm not sure I saw the official press release for this. Was there an official press release?
I guess I didn't either. Yeah, I don't think so.
So I wasn't sure if this was, anyway, whatever. Bookings for this apparently open Thursday, November 13th, which is last week as this is coming out.
Yeah.
So sorry, too late. But Buffalo Trace Kentucky Straight Bourbon invites bourbon lovers to slow down and savor the journey with perfectly untamed, once-in-a-lifetime tasting experience set deep in the perfectly untamed wilds of Wyoming. Home to what may be the most remote and exclusive tasting room in America. Crafted in partnership with Buffalo Field Campaign, a nonprofit dedicated to protecting America's last wild bison and preserving their habitat for the greater Yellowstone ecosystem, Perfectly Untamed celebrates patience, preservation. Oh God, I'm just gonna keep going. And the untamed spirit of American frontier. Custom built on the open plains, the glass walled tasting rooms, floor to ceiling windows offer sweeping views of wild buffalo roaming freely just beyond. Far removed from the noise and hustle of the modern world, guests are invited to slow down and savor the unmistakable taste of blah, 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 blah. How it works. Reserve your spot. Secures your place in this exclusive spring 2026 experience. Bookings open Thursday, November 13th. Sorry about that. Stay tuned. Once your reservation is complete, you'll receive a follow-up communication, blah, blah, blah. Skipping. Book your bar stool and be among a select few to experience the most remote tasting room in America. It includes a private 2-hour guided tasting led by Freddie Johnson.
Nice.
Buffalo Trace's VIP visitor lead
Legend.
and Bourbon Hall of Fame inductee.
Yep.
Featuring neat pours, signature cocktails, and Freddie's renowned storytelling. I love that.
Dude, he's got some great stories. Yeah.
I know. Drawn from 3 generations of distillery history. Sweeping views, of course, of Wyoming's bison country. Journey through the history of Buffalo Trace Distillery. Oh, and actually $1,000 travel stipend per guest to assist with accommodations and travel planning. Important info, though, to be very clear, you must be over 21. Each reservation and donation of $500 covers 2 guests, not 200 guests, the primary registrant and their chosen companion. So you do have to donate $500 to the charity that they're supporting here.
And it's lottery after that, or it's just a reservation?
No, I think it's just a reservation, which is obviously
going to give $500 and then you get $1,000 stipend.
That's correct. That's what it makes it sound like.
Interesting. I'm into arbitrage,
right?
And then whiskey on top. Yeah.
That's it. That's pretty much it. I read the whole page. Whew.
So it's like in this glass container on the American prairie in Wyoming. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong. Okay. The ridiculously terrible render on this webpage honestly made me think that this was totally fake. Like,
I thought so too when I first saw it.
There's a bunch of fake buffalo on a fake prairie with mountains in the background, and then a terribly the way that if this was a real photo, things just would not be of this proportion. You know what I mean? And there's this weird glass wall thing in the middle of nowhere. But you know what? The thing about this that I love the most is that Freddie Johnson is going to go out of his way enough to come here and do this for people who sign up for this.
I love that. So I have many thoughts on this.
Yeah.
If you're in the
many thoughts, tiny little thoughts, thoughts,
many thoughts. My favorite professor in college went to University of Wyoming, to Laramie. And he has this story that he would always tell. He was a storyteller to begin with, but he has a story he told where his car got totaled by a very angry buffalo out in Laramie area. Where the buffalo itself was had a death wish. Like, it was not even death. Like, he was tearing apart my professor's car, and he was surprised he survived my professor because it completely totaled his car because it was getting territorial or something like that.
So I just texted Sam very angry buffalo children's book story.
Yeah.
Yeah, she needs to illustrate.
She's good at that. It would be cute. Buffaloes can be cute in cartoony ways.
The very
not
angry
in regular
buffalo.
life. Yeah. And so I would hate for that to happen. Like it shows up on the news, like what started as a really good idea from Buffalo Trace, a whiskey brand out of Frankfort, Kentucky, turned into a deadly scene, like that kind of thing where it's like,
Yeah.
yeah,
The only surviving person was Freddie Johnson. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, good.
And he
Whew,
would survive too.
knock
He's
on wood
amazing.
here.
Yeah. And but yeah, here's my other thought. My final thought is that Buffalo Trace is starting to realize that they can do whatever they want. And it's cool. Good for them. They've earned it. They got good products. They sell good stuff. They have a following that is unbreakable. Like basically, like they at the moment, no one's gonna be like, I don't like Buffalo Trace anymore. And there's some people are. They're still selling out of everything, even in this bourbon glut that we're dealing with right now.
Right.
They're selling everything they put out. I mean, the only thing that's not selling is Traveler, and no one wants that to begin with. So, but they're just like, hey, it'll sell if we do it. Why don't we do it? So they do it. So that's my thought on that as well.
Yeah. Well, when they make the most remote tasting room in space, sign me up, man.
I'm there.
Buffalo Trace tasting experience on orbit around the world. Yeah. That's the one I'm going to go for.
Here's my question for you, Brian. If you were offered a trip to the moon, would you take it?
Yes. Like, so hold on. Like
even
there
with
was
risks.
There was a long pause there,
Uh-huh.
but my answer is absolutely yes.
Okay.
As long as, it's a proven system that's worked at least a couple times before and blah, blah,
what
blah.
If the risk is 4% death? Would you still do it?
Oh, dang. I think four is too much. I think it's got to be 1 or below.
Okay.
1 or below. Yeah.
I think I would take those odds, actually.
Yeah.
I think I would take
right.
That's 1 in 25 chance you die. That's pretty good.
Right.
Yeah. I could die. I could die today.
Oh man, that's great.
My wife would hate that I just said that, but yeah, I could die today.
Yeah, I guess if I were to make this decision, Sam would need to be consulted.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know why I brought that up because one of my best friends who also works for the company you work for.
Oh
his goal in life was to be an astronaut, and he got his PhD at Georgia Tech in like some crazy astrophysics thing. And he was like, then he basically told his girlfriend, now wife, he's like, hey, if I get asked to go to space, I'm going to space. Like, no doubt, no joke, no hesitation. And so she had to like think about that. Like, you have potentially what it takes to be an astronaut. Am I ready to marry someone like that? So and they it didn't turn out.
Yeah, non-negotiable. This is part of the deal. This is what you're signing up for. Yeah.
Sure.
You know what the funny thing is? If you turn that around and Sam had an experience where, hey, I really want to do this, but there's a 1% chance that I die, I would be like,
she wants
absolutely
to fight
not.
In the Lord of the Rings battles.
I would, I would be like, absolutely not. No, I will not take the 1% chance. But then here I am with my own life, like, 1%. Yeah, I could do that.
1 in 100 chance of dying. I'll take that. Not every day, but to go to the moon, I would take that. Yeah. I watched at least half of Apollo 13 recently, and I was like, it's a good movie. Great movie.
Great movie, man. The music too. Did John Williams score that?
That was John Williams, I think. Yeah.
Good stuff.
And then underrated role in that movie, Ed Harris.
For sure.
I think that guy just died. The guy that he was based off of, or the guy that they wrote him. I think he recently passed. I might be wrong.
Really?
Yeah. But he actually apparently wore like a white vest and had like that flat top cut.
Yeah. I'll give you a little, so you get to do your math tangent. So I'll give you a little tangent here.
Yeah.
So the Apollo space capsule, when it comes back from the moon, screaming through the Earth's atmosphere, it's like Mach 20 times the speed of sound.
No way. Yeah.
Ripping through the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And it causes so much friction because it's trying to push through air, but air
Yeah,
can't split fast enough,
for
and
sure.
it heats up the bottom of that so much that it actually splits the atoms from
No
their
way.
molecules apart. Yeah, and
Wow.
it creates a cloud, a sheath called plasma. So
Okay.
it
Yeah.
creates a plasma sheath around the vehicle, and that plasma sheath causes RF, wireless communications, to not be able to talk through the plasma sheath because it's essentially
So,
like a
uh-huh.
cloud of electrons which are negatively
Yeah.
charged, like a
Ooh.
sheath of negative charge that's all around this thing that any sort of communication you're trying to pass through can't get
Yeah.
through. And so that's why
So
there's
nothing
that
can break through
blackout
that.
period.
Yeah.
Well,
Uh-huh. Well,
there
okay.
is there's a cutoff there where if you
Uh-huh.
have a very high frequency communication system,
Okay.
the high frequency short wavelength can get through that plasma sheath. But
Uh,
back in the day, they were using
yeah.
a relatively low
Yeah.
frequency communication system, which is why there was the blackout period when they were re-entering and everybody's on
Yep.
pins and needles, like, are they going to
Mhm.
survive re-entry? And then finally you hear like static and they're like, welcome home or whatever, and
Yeah.
you see the parachutes in the movie and everything. So
Speaking of good music, yeah. Uh-huh.
that whole principle is something that is on my mind regularly with work.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, plasma sheaths.
there you go.
I'm into that. I like that. That's cool. But wait, these days you say, yeah, high frequency, low wavelength, will break through the plasma sheath.
So high, yeah, high. The in more intense the plasma sheath, the higher in
Uh-huh.
frequency your communication system has to be in order to break through.
Nice.
So
Is
the
that
trick
very
is
hard to do, produce?
performing simulations and doing the math to figure out
Uh-huh.
what your plasma frequency cutoff is to ensure that
Oh,
your communication system can work.
space man. Tell you what. That's cool.
There you
All right.
go.
What do we got last week on
Oh, dang. Wait, are we
what
doing
whiskey
a
would you
whiskey
choose?
podcast? Wait, are we in the
Yeah, I
middle of a
guess
whiskey
so.
podcast right now?
Just this
That's so
once.
crazy. So, maybe 2 weeks ago, we asked you who
Yeah.
has the best bottom shelf products. And we wanted
Uh-huh.
to know your opinion between Jack Daniel's, Old Forester, and Woodford Reserve. And Old Forester actually won with a resounding
Yeah.
amount.
Yeah, like
Seven,
landslide.
72-22-6. Old
Wow.
Forester, then Jack Daniels, then Woodford Reserve. So very minimal votes for Woodford here, but a commanding lead out of Old Forester. So we got some write-ins though. Kilted 518 Miles Ferguson, the man, the myth, the legend, says Old Forester 100 proof rye, which I very much love and totally agree with. We got wait, is Marco
No, that's a different
Marcola?
Marco.
Yeah, it's not Marco and
Markolovic?
CO, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
different
okay,
different
good.
Marco. Yeah.
Good to know.
We'll take
He
whatever you
says,
got, Marco
yeah,
Markolovic.
heck, yeah, Makolovic. We'll just go with that. Old Foe 1910 or 1920, which actually reading that now makes me want to skip down to Cody Clark,
Yeah,
who says Old Forester Black Label for cheaper or 1915 for Whiskey Row. And
nice.
you may or may not know what 1915 is. It is a half and
Old
half
Fine?
blend. It is a half and half blend of 1910 and 1920.
Oh, gotcha.
You take your
I'm
two
thinking of
bottles and you
1910.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly,
that's funny.
exactly. So going back here to Broaska Testuasi, he says Old Forester 86 or any barrel select.
Yeah.
Whiskey Drinking Panda, he says bottom shelfer. Does Old Forester 100
Yeah.
count? Yeah, we'll go with that. We'll
Oh,
go
it
with that.
counts.
Madtown Marketer doubled down also on your Old Forester 86. And
Nice.
the Whiskey Shaman said Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye. I mean,
And
that
he's not
is
wrong.
a shelfer in my
Yeah,
area.
these days. I mean,
Yeah,
you'll find it every time you go to an ABC store in Virginia.
totally. Yeah, yeah. So that's got to count. That's got to count.
It's got to count. I would change my answer then to that. Okay, this week We're going to go
This
with an
week.
old trusty, but always changing question.
True.
What was the last thing you bought, whiskey-wise?
Yep. What was the last thing I bought? I was
Yeah.
fortunate enough to catch at Total Wine Knob Creek 21. It is
Nice.
over my left shoulder here in the wooden box thing. Knob Creek 21, hopefully a soon to be episode that we'll do here. But I have gotten the opportunity to sip that, and
Nice.
I will not tell you what I think.
I'm into that. I'm down to wait. So that's the oldest Knob Creek yet, right?
That's the oldest Knob Creek yet. They had the 18 release, I guess, 3 years ago. It doesnn't feel like 3 years ago. Was it just 2 years ago? They might have, I don't know. Maybe there was some distribution shenanigans there or something. But well, I imagine like Jack Daniels is going through this exact same exercise where their oldest barrels are what they're releasing some of their 14, and then in the future they're going to do 18 or something. I don't know. They have plans, and like Russell's, when Russell's gets to 18, there's going to be a Russell's 18 within the next 2 years or so. Like,
love the idea.
Can you imagine? Yeah. So anyway, I think that's what Knob's doing too, and they're up to 21 now.
Nice. Good for Knob. I was able to snag a OESV from the ABC Virginia recently, a few weeks back.
Nice.
And that was my recent buy was a Four Roses single barrel strength OESV. It was like 56, 112-ish proof. I actually have it right down here.
Heyo.
112.4, 9 year, 7 month OESV.
Awesome. Very good.
That's
what OESV
listener. Go ahead.
OESV is a pretty not I don't want to use the word coveted, but people love OESVs because it's the lower rye, and the V I want to say is like rich fruit or something like that.
If I had the bottle near me.
No, it's fine. Whatever. Anyway, people love OESVs, so I'm excited to give that a shot too. If you send some my way.
I just did, actually. The courier is en route, as they say in French.
God, you better start running real quick here. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do they say route in French?
I don't know. They say en route or something like that. I don't know. Frenchies, am I right? Shout out to Jason Preston, who is a French Canadian. One of our favorite Patreon listeners.
Nice.
What else?
Next
what are we drinking next week?
Next week, we're drinking Russell's Single Rickhouse Camp Nelson E.
I love good Russells. Have you sipped it yet?
I have sipped it.
Dang it.
I sip everything, Cole.
Hand, though, or like holding in your hand, which I dig. I don't want to know.
Not sharing my opinion.
Not showing your hand. Yeah.
You know, it's funny. Maybe I'm 50-50 on that, because there's been plenty of times where I'm like, okay, you know what I'll say? I'll say that I blah 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 blah, and I'll give you some little like teaser on it. I don't know. I've been trying to do better lately because it's not fair. I don't want to.
I don't remember these times.
I hate the idea that I'd influence your opinion. So anyway,
nice.
Russell's C&E,
uninfluenceable.
Good.
No, I'm totally influenceable.
Bryan Duncan has shared that pour with us. He himself
what a baller.
One. So and I tell you, behind my head over in this general area, I have 1 ounce left of C&F sample from somebody. Nice. So on our C&E show, I'll be able to do C&E, I'll be able to do C&F. I've got a C&B. Nope, not going to do it. I was about to give you a little opinion, but I'm going to keep it in my pocket here. So that's all I'll reveal for now.
Nice. I like that. I'm into that, and I hope that that's a great episode, and it's perfect because it's a wild turkey product in time for Turkey Day.
Oh, that's true. Wait, we're getting close, dude. That's gonna come out on
the 24th.
The 24th. Oh, it's perfect. I hope everyone appreciates how much thought went into planning that out.
we take care of our listeners. And I hope they know that. But most of all, friends, family, I hope that I spank Bryan on the reentry buzz. But most of all, I hope
Yo,
that our
but-
love of whiskey lifted your spirits. Tequila barrels. Ooh.
Tequila barrels. Ooh.